What is going on, everybody? This is Franz. We're back for our NXT review for May 23rd, 2018. NXT had a really good show with a pretty good start and a really crazy ending. We'll get into that tonight. We had Kairi Sane versus Lacey Evans in a match tonight, as well as the TM61 and Heavy Machinery, the tag team match, which was set up from last week. They are really starting to bring this TM61 guys down a dark road with using a lot of dastardly deeds to be able to win matches, which is fine. We only have one other real heel tag team in the Undisputed Era, so it is really nice to see another tag team flourish as a heel team. You can't just have like the Undisputed Era and a bunch of other heel tag teams. It makes no and another babyface tag teams. It makes no sense. So to have one of these teams go down a dark path as well, that's good to see. We also had Johnny Gargano make his return to the NXT Full Sail crowd in the main spot of the night, with trying to goad, pretty much looking like he's going to be calling it a career. But things take a turn for the worse in the end, and Gargano CIampa is the main reason for that. We also had, in a handicap match, this is leading off of what happened last week, the Velveteen Dream and Ricochet versus Lars Sullivan. That match turns out to be a really good match up until the very end of it, where they really set up a match between Ricochet and Velveteen Dream for NXT TakeOver Chicago, which I guess now is being labeled NXT TakeOver Chicago 2, because last year, for the night before Backlash, they were in Chicago last year. So this year we're getting TakeOver Chicago 2, and this match was definitely set up. I believe they also hinted at the fact that the Undisputed Era will put the tag team titles on the line at TakeOver Chicago against Danny Burch and Oney Lorcan. That match, I don't know if it was announced any other time. They didn't mention it, but the Undisputed Era had another one of those great promos in which they, of course, pretty much made it confirm that these two are going to be taking on Danny Burch and Oney Lorcan will take on the tag team champions. Of course, Roderick Strong made a challenge to Danny Burch. He called him Daniel Burch. So they will be having a match, it looks like, next week, so looking forward to that. NXT, again, firing on all cylinders, because we are less than a month away from NXT. Well, we are about a month away from NXT TakeOver Chicago, and we need a couple matches. There was also an NXT Women's title match made for next week, so the talks of Dakota Kai getting the title match at NXT TakeOver Chicago 2 is not happening, simply because she's getting the match next week. We'll talk about that in a second. WWE needs to take note on how to do a real bullying storyline from NXT, because the way WWE main roster on Monday Night Raw did it was not the way to go. Whereas WWE, like NXT, has done it perfectly, and it just works. I'll get into that later. The show started off with Heavy Machinery versus TM61. TM61, which I know TM61 is, they said it was a Pokemon thing, which it is. They said it was a cruise missile. I figured TM stands for the Mighty 61. TM61, the Mighty, you get it. They showed Jonathan Coachman in the crowd for whatever reason. I guess he's a big fan of Heavy Machinery. I mean, who isn't? Tucker Knight and Notice Dojovic are one of the more entertaining tag teams in NXT until they go up to the main roster, and they kill their gimmick, as they always do. Dojovic starts off with Shane Thorne in this match. Thorne with a slap to the back of Dojovic's head. Shane Thorne, Morinello did note that Shane Thorne is a lot faster than is the one with more speed of the two. Dojovic tags in Tucker Knight, running shorter blocks after the 3-point stances for a 2 count. Nick Miller tags in, and he eats a hip toss, then a splash in the corner. Thorne tries to get on. I messed up on my notes. Yeah, Heavy Machinery has Thorne and uses him as a battering ram, as they have Nick Miller in the corner in the what would be Shattered Dreams position where for Goldust. They have both him sitting up in the setup position on the second rope with his legs over the ropes, and he gets hit with the battering ram, which was Shane Thorne. Knight drives Miller into the corner twice, 3 times, 4 times. Miller tries a roll through, but Thorne tags in, and with with an uppercut to Knight as TM61 takes control. Tucker Knight takes the heat for the majority of the match. Knight does fight back, but TM61 stops that. They both try. Miller eats a lariat to the back of the head. Not Miller. Tucker Knight eats a lariat to the back of the head. I had that wrong. A Let's Go Tucky chant because, of course, Dozovich likes to say Tucky instead of Tucker. He says Tucky, so we get a Tucky, Tucky chant. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. Both men try to suplex Tucker Knight, but he suplexes them both at the same time, which is always a great big man feat when you see two small guys trying to suplex one big guy, and he just picks them all both up at the same time. Always great. Just don't overuse it, WWE. Don't overuse it. Spring and scoop slam by the Dozovich. The caterpillar elbow for a 2 count because TM61, I believe it was Shane Thorne, broke it up. Meg just double arm bar, they call it. We had both arms, he just lifted them up and suplexed them over him. It was a really good move. But he goes for a splash on the Shane Thorne, but he moves out of the way as Knight comes in for the splash. In the corner, Dozovich with a suplex. Doze goes up top, and he looks like a Vader bomb, but he sees the towel that TM61 brings with him, and he just takes that, wipes off the sweat because he's been wrestling a match. He wants to get himself all nice and clean. He mistakenly throws the towel into the ring. Referee goes to pull the towel and throw it out of the ring. He gets hit with a jump kick by Shane Thorne. Nick Miller rolls him up, puts his feet on the rope. 1, 2, 3. And for the second straight match that they've had, TM61 wins by dirty tactics. So they are just going down this dark path to do whatever it takes to win a match. So where do these guys go from here? I don't know. We will have to see as this goes. TM61, they're talking about if they keep winning, they might be in title contention. But unless Danny Burch and Orny Lorcan beat the Undisputed Era at NXT TakeOver Chicago 2, I don't see a reason to have TM61 in title contention yet, because that's just a heel versus heel tag team match, and heel versus heel matches 95% of the time never work. They show a promo package for Bianca Belair. She asks, "Why do I have the brightest future? Do you realize the roots of the significance of my roots? Why am the EST?" Well, you'll find out next week. A Who is Bianca Belair promo video package will happen next week. This will be something similar as we saw for TM61. When they were coming back, they had a two-part video package for them showing their careers before they came to NXT, leading up to their leading up to the Dusty Road Tag Team Classic 2 years ago, to the injury to I think it was Shane Thorne who got hurt, or Nick Miller, whichever one. Then up to their return earlier this year. So we're going to expect to see that. So I like that NXT does this. It lets you get to know the NXT superstars a little bit more. As long as it's not something that's stupid and cringy as we saw with Bobby Lashley, which I know it's not going to be. So it's going to be great to see. Can't wait to see what they got to show for Bianca Belair. Kairi Sane versus Lacey Evans. This was I'd say a shocker for me. The end of this match. Sane, as soon as that bell rings, Kairi Sane with a drop kick to Lacey Evans in the face. She starts to start the match, and she is off to a hard start, beating the piss out of Lacey Evans. Evans comes back with a lock up, then a chop to Sane's chest. Sane sells it for a second, and she comes back with this pissed off look on her face. She got hit with the top, turns to the outside, so she's in between second and top rope. Just selling for a second. She comes back in and just ooh. Same with a stop of her own. She screams something at her that was in Japanese. I have no fucking clue what Kairi Sane said. Then they took to her neck, scorpion death drop looking move. Evans tossed Sane into the corner, who moves in Evans with a mule kick to Sane, then a stomp on her head for a 2 count. Evans now has a clutch on Sane as the crowd goes crazy and starts doing the clap chant to try and get some energy for Kairi Sane. Sane fights back with Evans with a damage to Sane's arm. She just, Kairi Sane's arm from this point on became a compromised portion, and that was the target of Lacey Evans. Evans gets Sane in the corner, and she wraps Sane's arm around the top rope for more damage. Bronco, leap up or handstand Bronco Buster by Evans. She gets a 2 count on the pin. Evans starts working on Sane's arm even more. Sane with the need to get out and then to get out, and then she gets hit with the running blockbuster, followed by an axe kick, then a spear by the intercepted spear by Kairi Sane. Same with her march to the other side of the corner. I have no clue what they actually call that, where she does her little march, and then she does a sliding elbow. But instead of being able to go up for the insane elbow immediately, Lacey Evans falls out of the ring. She does do a elbow off of the steel steps onto Lacey Evans. She tosses her back in the ring. It's like, this is it. I'm done. I'm gonna hit you with the insane elbow, and that's that. She gets up to the top rope, leaps off, and all of a sudden, Lacey Evans with the ladies' right, or whatever she calls it, let me see here, the woman's right, fist knockout shot. 1, 2, 3. Lacey Evans beats Kairi Sane. Did I see that coming? Hell no, because it just seems like Kairi Sane, I don't know what they're doing with her. It seemed like when she won the Mae Young Classic that WrestleMania weekend was going to be her weekend to win the NXT Women's Championship. Now we know that went to Shayna Baszler, and now I just don't know what they're doing with Kairi Sane. It's like a start, stop. They don't have anything really for her except for this feud right now with Lacey Evans. Apparently, they'll probably have a rubber match either at NXT TakeOver Chicago. I don't know if that's going to happen or not. Or next week, or the week, probably next week, probably the go-home show to NXT TakeOver Chicago, maybe, I'm not sure. Or the Aftermath show like they had at NXT TakeOver New Orleans. I'm not sure whatsoever, but Lacey Evans was your winner. Kathy Kelly is outside waiting for the Gargano and Candice LeRae to show up. They do show up. She asked Gargano about his neck. He said, "It's seen better days. I'm here tonight." I sat down with Candice. We discussed the future as a team. I will go to the ring and tell everyone. May not want to do it, but it has to be done. So, first and foremost, anybody who's ever watched a wrestling show, you should just tell what this was going to. Ricochet and Velveteen Dream versus Lars Sullivan in a handicap match. This was a damn good match. Lars Sullivan sold these guys' moves like it was his, like he was going, like it was like they were needed to be. This guy made these guys' moves look like $1 million. Dream starts the match off and he just gets tossed like a ragdoll by Sullivan. Ricochet tags in and it's his turn and he's just dropped by Sullivan. Both men Ricochet comes off to the corner and Velveteen Dream whispers something in his ear. He tags in Velveteen Dream and they both just, at the same time, beat down on Lars Sullivan as much as they can. Double drop kicks, Lars Sullivan. Springboard missile drop kick by Ricochet for a 1 count. Double axe handles by Dream in the corner 2, 3 times. Both men on him again. Double team moves aplenty. Axe kick by Ricochet in the corner. Double super kick. Both cover and only get a 1 count. Both men are fighting this man double suplex attempt. Both men get laid out, and Sullivan just tosses Dream again like a rag doll. Dream kicks out at a 2 count. Dream pretty much should have been like, well, I'm done. I'm just going to lay here and die. Didn't happen. Sullivan tosses Dream into the corner hard as hell, and then gets a 2 count. Cross faces to Dream. Dream got the piss beat out of him from like this moment on for a few minutes. Like he made a mistake trying to get into this match, plain and simple. Cross faces to Dream, laying him down again. Chin bar by Sullivan on Dream. Knee lift by Sullivan and a clubbing forearm to Dream, sending him crashing to the mat again. Sullivan pretty much lets Velveteen Dream look like, I'm just going to let you crawl over there. He gets close to Ricochet in the corner, and Sullivan just grabs his leg and says, I'm not done playing with you yet, boy. Sullivan gets off the top. He hits a leaping power slam for a 2 count. Sullivan goes up top, and I never want to see a big man like this go up top, period. If I see this big man, if I'm able to look around while I'm laying down, I see this big man going up top rope, I'm rolling out of the way. Sullivan off the top rope with a diving headbutt for a 2 count. He hit like Velveteen Dream in the middle of his back. It looked nasty. Ricochet baits in Sullivan after this. He gets a diving elbow. He tags by Dream, who then tags in Ricochet. He hits a fire. He's on fire and is taking it to Sullivan. Diving crossbody, then a standing shooting star press for a 2 count. Ricochet back on the attack. Dream tags in him and Ricochet. Ricochet tags in Velveteen Dream. Velveteen Dream hits a move. He's in the corner again. Velveteen Dream ends up getting tagged, like Ricochet ends up tagging back in. And then a double tag, seeing it hits a move. Like him and Ricochet back on again. I'm like, everything's looking great. Then all of a sudden, Lars Sullivan is outside the ring, and Ricochet gets back up and gets hit with a rolling Death Valley driver by the Velveteen Dream, who then says, "You want to screw me? Then I will screw you. You don't belong here." And he looks over and sees Lars Sullivan coming back into the ring, and he just slides out of the ring as only the Velveteen Dream can, and he just leaves. He leaves Ricochet to the wolves. Freak accident, 1, 2, 3, and Lars Sullivan is your winner. Plain and simple. So that is definitely setting up. We are going to get a full 20-minute match between the Velveteen Dream and Ricochet. No BS, no stoppage of anything. We are going to see what these two can give us at TakeOver Chicago, and I cannot wait. It was not announced tonight. I expect it to be announced either during the weekend on the NXT's Twitter page or next week on NXT TV. I don't think William Regal was actually in part of the was actually at Full Sail this set of tapings, because he hasn't been seen at all yet. I mean, they said he's been there, but I don't think he's actually been there. Next week we will have Dakota Kai versus Shayna Baszler for the NXT Women's Championship. The bullying angle. If you really want to see how to do a bullying angle in wrestling, this is the way to do it. Dakota Kai is asked by, I believe it's Kathy Kelly. Kai says, "This is something I wanted for a while. I've been watching NXT before I even got here, since NXT's been around since 2012, I believe. Only it's been on the WWE Network since its inception in 2014. But still, it's insane that I'm going to be wrestling for the women's title. At the same time, it's against someone who's been getting in my head. And the worst bully I've ever seen is Shayna Baszler. Shayna Baszler comes in and pretty much says, "What? You got nothing to say to me when I'm here? You can talk shit about me when I'm not here." I'm paraphrasing, of course, but you can talk shit about me when I'm not here, but when I'm in front of you, you can't say shit. And she says something and like, "I'm gonna take you out next week, and I'm gonna beat you down next week." And Dakota Kai just like puffs up and is like, "We'll see about that." And that's the end of that segment. Aleister Black will also be live in the house next week in Full Sail. Now, before we go on to the end of the show, Dakota Kai and Shayna Baszler is the way to do a bullying angle. Plain and simple. We don't need to hear about double fisting turkey legs or fat shaming or high school drama. This is how you do a bullying angle. You have the champion who is a badass motherfucker. If she wants to go out there and rip your arm out, she will. And Dakota Kai is like, I don't want to have to deal with Shayna Baszler. I'm going to try and do everything I can to avoid her. But every time since we work here we both work here, I still have to put up with her. This is how you do a proper bullying angle. Have somebody who is scared shitless of this person, and this person knows it and can just sit there and just assert herself as being, "Listen, bitch, I'm here. You're going to have to fucking deal with it. No ifs, ands, or buts about it." So, Dakota Kai versus Shayna Baszler next week. Will Shayna Baszler lose the NXT Women's Championship? Hell no. Let's see what Dakota Kai can bring. Will she be bullied in the ring, or will she actually stand up to fight her bully in Shayna Baszler? Johnny Gargano and Candice LeRae are out for a promo to finish the show. I would also like to say that it is kind of refreshing for NXT to not always do what Raw and SmackDown does. We start Raw and SmackDown every single week, except for once in a blue moon, where we see somebody or a tag team or somebody come out, cut a promo, get interrupted by somebody, and then a match is made for right after that promo. That didn't happen tonight. It doesn't happen usually at all. It's usually promo. If a promo is on first, it has meaning behind it, and it's for a bigger build, not just like, "Well, you two are arguing, have a match," or, "Oh, 4 people out here, or 6 people out here, tag team match." No. When there's a promo like we had 2 weeks ago, with Velveteen Ricochet out there and the Velveteen Dream interrupted him, it led to a match last week between those two until Lars Sullivan ended up breaking it up, leading to a match tonight, which will lead to a match at TakeOver Chicago, which is WWE main roster creators should take fucking notes. Vince McMahon might not watch NXT, that's fucking obvious, but the creative people in WWE should. Because the guys up top look like fucking chump change to the people who run NXT. Plain and simple. Gargano is in a neck brace. He ain't fooling anybody. He ain't fooling me. If anybody was fooled with Johnny Gargano in that neck brace tonight, I don't know what you've been watching for the last 25 years. Gargano looking emotional, so does Candice as he enters the ring. A Johnny Wrestling chant. Someone says, I love you, I think, and then he says, I love you too to the crowd. He grabs Candice's hand. He looks at her all lovey-dovey and everything. He says, last time I was here for an NXT title match. The bell never rang, and I left on a stretcher. Every morning I wake up and get out of bed, my body tells me and reminds me of a knee that smashed me into that LED board, and my body also reminds me of being driven off that stage through a table. I've been doing this my whole life, and I sat down with Candice, and I realized it's time to start thinking about my future, and it's time to think about our future. And I need to ask myself, is it worth it? Crowd chants yes, 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 yes. Gargano with the injuries adding up and the toll it takes on my friends, family, and my wife, is it worth it? More yes chants. They talk off the mic. He puts the mic behind his back and they start talking and they like arguing maybe. I have no fucking clue what they're actually saying. He says, yeah, it's worth it, rips off the neck brace, and Candice LeRae is like, Dome, what are you doing? What are you doing? We talked about this. No, no, no. Like, she wants him to actually retire from wrestling or something in this angle. He calls out Tommaso Ciampa. Candice LeRae looks worried. Out comes Ciampa and says, boy, I'm going to walk to this ring. I swear, if you're still there, I'm going to finish this. As he starts walking to the ring, Candice LeRae exits stage left off into the open area past the announce table and gets the referees who get into the ring. Candice tries to stop Gargano, who runs after Ciampa. The refs get in the way to stop Gargano. Candice grabs Gargano's arm and just pleads with him to stop. We don't have to do this. You don't have to do this. This is not worth it. This is not worth our future. Ciampa says, be a good little boy. Listen to your wife. Bye, Johnny Gargano. Johnny gets up, Candice lets go of his hand. He gets up on the apron. This was a scary fucking moment for a minute because I don't think this went exactly according to plan. He gets up on the apron, and Tommaso Ciampa knocks him off. He falls onto Candice LeRae like a sack of bricks. Like, he landed hard onto Candice LeRae on the metal steel grate ramp. Candice is out. Candice is out. I don't know if he was supposed to hit her and she was supposed to fall, but no, he landed straight on her. That looks scary as fuck. So, yeah. Johnny Gargano gets on the apron, he's knocked into Candice, and the apron Ciampa leaves off the same way that Candice LeRae came out, went to go get the referees. So Johnny Gargano looks distraught, asking for help. They bring out two of the medical staff, but don't have anyone else come out. Pay attention to this anytime you see an angle like this. Anytime, and I watched this, and I know she's fine. I know Candice LeRae is fine. She's been through probably worse than that. Anytime you see an angle like this, and you see somebody from the announce desk or the commentary's desk come up to check on the person who's down, it's to build it as this is legit. This wasn't supposed to happen. They did this back in 2001, I think. Yeah, I think it was January 2001 with Chyna when she had a neck injury. She went down in that match at the Royal Rumble. They had her play up that she was if she hurt her neck again, and they had Jerry Lawler come up to check on her to make it look like this is real. So they had it was like, oh my god, that looked like it wasn't supposed to happen. So they had Nigel come off the announce desk, off the commentary's desk, and come check on her. Yes, Candice LeRae is probably fine, but it looked like she was supposed to maybe get hit by him. Elbow to the face, she falls to the side, and that's that. But no, he landed crossbody face, stomach first. Like, he got hit. Instead of falling backwards, he went front forwards and landed straight on her. Anytime that something like this happens, unless you see Triple H himself come out, then it's all just storyline based. If Triple H would have been out, then you're like, oh shit, something bad happened. But yeah, This feud between Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa, if this was not personal yet, it just got major personal tonight because the love of Johnny Gargano's life got hurt. That's going to make whatever match they come out to, and it really sucks that this is an NXT, and I say this because the only match that is warranted for this feud, you could put any match, a hardcore match, a street fight, a no disqualification match, they already had an unsanctioned match, they could have a cage match. This feud calls for Hell in a Cell. No ifs, ands, or buts about it, and it sucks this is in NXT because they cannot use Hell in a Cell. This feud calls for a Hell in a Cell, and it's a damn shame we can't see this in a Hell in a Cell match. Because you know, when these two are done in NXT, I guarantee you one's going to Raw and one's going to SmackDown, or one's going to Raw and one's going to 205 Live or something. This feud is so personal. This feud calls for a Hell in a Cell, and I wish at Chicago they could do a Hell in a Cell match. And you know what? It would probably be better than any Hell in a Cell match outside of New Day versus the Usos, because that was a damn good one, than we have seen in the last 5, 6, 7, 8 years on main roster TV. It sucks that it's in NXT because of that, but it doesn't suck because if it was on the main roster, then this probably would not be as good or as special as it is. Look at what they're doing with AJ Styles and Shinsuke Nakamura. WrestleMania, Greatest Royal Rumble, Backlash, last Tuesday, Money in the Bank. That's 5 matches within a 3-month span. 5 matches in a 3-month span. Give me a fucking break, man. I mean, yes, unlike, WrestleMania, Greatest Royal Rumble, and Backlash, between Backlash and Money in the Bank and the match they had last Tuesday, there's at least a few weeks break, but still, 5 matches between 2 guys over 1 title and no, 3 inconclusive finishes. Could you imagine having this feud on the main roster and having those same bullshit finishes? How pissed off people would be. So, whatever they come up with, quite honestly, unless this was a Hell in a Cell, which I don't think it will be, it's going to be a great match because these two, you can just tell, no matter what they are on storyline, no matter what, the animosity and the hatred that they're playing in their characters, these two are best friends because you can just tell when 2 great friends or best friends go one-on-one against each other. Look at Shawn Michaels and Triple H from 2002 to 2004, those matches they had. Look at, let me think here. Look at Eddie Guerrero versus JBL. And people might not like it, but those matches were great because they were best friends. Best friends in the wrestling business is one of the best things you could have because you trust that person. So whatever these guys are going to do, I expect blood, I expect broken limbs, I expect broken ribs, I expect a lot of hell and carnage at NXT TakeOver Chicago. We have a few weeks left. Aleister Black will be there next week. We have Dakota Kai versus Shayna Baszler in a match that hopefully will not just be a total squash to kill off to Dakota Kai. Hopefully they do make it somewhat competitive. But that was your NXT TV review for the week. We will be back here on Saturday for Unscripted. We had to talk about the biggest talking point of the week, as well as talking about the UK title tournament first round matches and who I think will make it to the King of the Ring tournament in the middle of June. Until then, my name is The Franz. Follow me on Twitter at The Franz. Follow me on twitch.tv/TheFranz08. Hit that subscribe button, comment down below, smash that like button. I will see you guys Saturday for Unscripted. Until then, you guys have a good one.